In this step, you're going to be creating a texturized outside of your mug, and you'll also be making sure that it is seamlessly attached on the outside here. We'll review how to attach clay together here so that we have a mug shape, but that can also be released, like we're talking about, with this paper. So this will come out of your clay at this point in time. Now we have a perfectly round cylinder vessel that will eventually have a handle on it and a bottom so that we can use it to drink out of. So you have to decide what kind of a design you want on your outside first. Can you draw in the clay? Absolutely. Can you carve into the clay and then put color glaze over the top of it? Absolutely. But I want you to be aware that there are these texture plates. You've probably used them with crayons before, where you set this down, you set a piece of paper on top, and then you transfer the crayon or the design with a crayon. Well, they also come in really handy on clay. So for instance, this design, this pattern, has been pressed into this piece of clay. So now it's actually got bumpiness to it. It actually has a textural feel to it. Whereas this one here is a different template that I have sitting around here. This one. So it's kind of got a flower pattern to it. But there's all different kinds of templates. So I want you just to be aware that you will be applying texture to this, or you can carve to it. You can add any design to your mug as you would like. So once you have this set up, it's very important that you get the texture on when the clay is at a certain moisture level. If it gets too dry, we get the texture placed on here, and then we try to curve the clay slab around your cylinder shape here, then it's probably going to crack the clay. So we want to make sure that this is at a good stage before we move on. Some of these texture templates are a little bit smaller than the clay, so maybe you would decide to only do it on half of it and then leave this stuff smooth, and maybe you decorate that some other way. Some of them are long enough so that it would totally cover up because it's longer than the clay itself. So when you're deciding on that, keep that in mind. I might actually try this one on this. See what this wobbly design looks like. It's very, very much like an op art design. Very wiggly wobbly lines. So to get the texture to go in, you'll just decide which side you want to press into the clay. It feels mostly bumpy on this side, so I'm going to flip it. Take your rolling pin. Now, are we trying to put a ton of pressure down on this? No, we're trying to keep just a light pressure, enough to get the design to just go into the clay. So I am going to stand up a little bit. Press in. Once you'll start to see that it's sticking into the clay, yeah, that means that you did a good job getting in there. I'm going to go over it one more pass, though. One more time over the top. But I'm not trying to stretch this clay and make it really thin. I'm just trying to give it texture now. All right, we'll lift it from the corner and see what happens. Alright, so that one's got that really cool bumpy line design on it. There we go, and it actually feels bumpy because it imprinted into the clay. Okay, next step is to take that. You could obviously put more patterns and designs on there, or if you don't like it, can you smooth it out and try again? Sure. Or could you flip it over and try it on the back of the clay? Absolutely. You decide as the artist how that's going to work.